Good afternoon and welcome to today's Flash News here on ABC Amba TV. Tonight we'll take a look at the Trump, how he's unveiling radical agenda in pre-inauguration. Well, he calls that his pre-inauguration speech. Well, I am Oyin Opale, and we can only delve in after this break. In a provocative and decisive address, the U.S. President-elect Donald Trump on Sunday outlined a sweeping vision for his administration, vowing to implement a series of drastic measures that have sparked widespread concern and outrage. Speaking to a packaged audience, Trump declared that his presidency would mark a small preview of the common sense revolution that would transform America. He pledged to slam shut the nation's borders, dismantle federal regulations, and slash taxes in a bid to reshape the country in his image.
On my first day back in the Oval Office, I will sign a historic slate of executive orders to close our border to illegal aliens and stop the invasion of our country. And on that same day, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And as part of Operation Aurora, you know all about Aurora, how horrible that's been. Every single foreign gang and illegal alien member, all of this criminal network operating on American soil will be dismantled, deported, and destroyed. Going to get them out.
In a 90-minute speech at the Conservative Conference in Phoenix, Mr. Trump offered a triumphant view of his election victory and promised that a new golden age in America had begun. The president-elect lashed out repeatedly at transgender people to the delight of the audience, which roared with approval. But it was his comments on social issues that sparked the most controversy. Well, we'll come back to that transgender. Well, Trump vowed to stop woke and end the transgender lunacy, sparking fears of a concerted attacks on the rights and freedoms of marginalized communities. Well, the speech was characterized by, his trademark bluster and bravado, and he sought to energize his base and what some people might term as intimidating his opponents. But that's bravery. He even went so far as to declare that January 20th, the day of his inauguration, would be Liberation Day in America, a claim that has been widely ridiculed and criticized, but it is what it will be. Let's get that.
With the stroke of my pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one.
Well, Donald Trump's stance on transgender issues has been a topic of controversy. And, his recent comments have sparked more outrage. He's been vocal about this intention to crack down on transgender individuals right from the very first day. And he's been emphasizing that there are only two genders, male and female. This rhetoric has been met with, so much criticism from the LGBTQ community and, allies who argue that such views are discriminatory and harmful. Let's get what he has said.
And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one. We will end the occupation, and January 20th will truly be Liberation Day in America. Is that okay? Liberation Day. And this great liberation will be in honor of all of the victims of migrant crime and all of the angel moms and angel dads who have lost their really incredible kids that, you know, they're going around for years and years. And I talk to them all the time. I know so many of them. And many of them are here. And we can just say, we love you, we're with you. They had so little help from the politicians on the other side. We're joined today by Patty Morin, the mother of Rachel Morin, who you know all about, a beautiful mother of 5 who was murdered by an illegal alien monster who entered our country under the open border policies of the Biden administration. Your borders are always not too good. Your borders are, that was not Tom Homan, I can tell you.
Well, Trump's plans to ban transgender individuals from even serving in the military, well, that has also been widely criticized. He's previously tried to implement such a ban, but it was met with, so much resistance from the court and the military itself. The move is seen as a setback for the LGBTQ community, which, according to reports, has made significant progress, in recent years in terms of visibility and acceptance across board. It is worth noting that Trump's views on transgender issues are not shared by everyone, and there are many people who strongly disagree with his stance. The LGBTQ community has been fighting for equality and recognition for decades, and they won't give up easily. But will Trump allow them to have peace? Oh, well, from the 20th, we'll know about that. As the US president-elect, Trump's comments and actions have, significant implications for the LGBTQ community. Well, it's likely that this issue will continue to be a hot topic in his political arena, and we would always wait to see how that turns out. In general, these Trump's address, this one we are analyzing today, has been, condemned by others. Aside the LGBT community, it's been also been criticized by the civil rights group, who accuse him of promoting a toxic and discriminatory agenda. According to someone, it says this speech is a declaration of war on the most vulnerable members of the society, said a spokesperson for the LGBTQ advocacy group. Human Rights Campaign also says, we will not stand idly and as Trump seeks to roll back the clock on our hard-won rights and freedoms. Highly laughable. Well, the speeches also sparked concern among Democrats and moderate Republicans who fear that Trump's radical agenda will destabilize the country and undermine its institution. This is not the kind of language we expect from a president, said Senator Chuck Schumer. The Democratic leader in the Senate says Trump's rhetoric is divisive, inflammatory, and unbecoming of the office he's about to hold. Meanwhile, we would say as 20th of January comes faster and comes closer, his speech has set to the tone for a presidency that promises to be marked by controversy, confrontation, and upheaval. With his administration still in its infancy, it remains to be seen how Trump's radical agenda will play out in practice. But one thing is clear, America is for a wide race. And like he says, America is free and liberation is near. We will only sit, watch, and see how that unravels. Let's take Trump's move to the Supreme Court, how he tries to pause the ban of TikTok.
So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. I think we're going to have to start thinking. Because, we did go on TikTok and we had a great response with billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a chart and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, you know?
Trump has urged the U.S. Supreme Court to pause implementation of a law that would ban popular social media app TikTok or force its sale, arguing he should have time after taking office to pursue a political resolution to the issue. The court is set to hear arguments on the case by the 10th of January. The law would require TikTok's Chinese owner, ByteDance, to sell the platform to an American company or face a ban. The U.S. Congress voted in April to ban it unless ByteDance sells the app by January 19th. TikTok, which has over 170 million US users, and its parents have sought to have the law struck down. But if the court does not rule in their favor and no divestment occurs, the app could be effectively banned in the United States on the 19th of January, one day after Trump takes office. Trump's support for TikTok is a reversal from his 2020 when he tried to block the app in the United States and force its sale to American companies because of its Chinese ownership. But of course, you can see TikTok helped in his campaign. So probably something else, a better news, will be heard by the 19th of January. Away from the United States, let's get into Ambazonia, where Lao Republic to Cameroon military talks allegedly executes young man in Bamenda. The question is, what did the man do? Once again, the Midland zone of the British Southern Cameroons has fallen prey to the colonial military excesses. In Bamenda, a young man's body was found early Tuesday morning. Eyewitnesses report that people in colonial military style in clothing were involved in this, suspecting the incident to be a possible extrajudicial killing. The body of the deceased was discovered at the Mine 16 Mancon trash dump in Bamenda. That's very sad. Witnesses report seeing individuals clad in military-like clothing bringing the man to that spot around 6 p.m. on December 24th. As night fell, gunfire was heard, and witnesses claimed the attackers instructed the victims to run before they shoot him to death. The young man is yet to be identified, and local authorities, until this moment, are silent. Following the murder, many families in Mile 16, out of fear, chose to stay indoors on Christmas Day. This incident is yet another case of violence linked to the colonial dictatorial government, which has continuously failed to uphold and hold accountable its elements responsible for such acts in the Federal Republic of Ambazonia. La Republic of Cameroon military personnel are notorious for acting without fear of punishment and raining terror among residents, with a negligent government incapacity to act on these excessive human rights abuses. The situation keeps deteriorating, and helpless citizens of Ambazonians continue to bury their loved ones. If you keep the numbers, this is just one out of many reports we give here on a regular basis. Of course, you know that this week on Ambazonia comes up at the top of the hour, 8 p.m. And of course, you should join the conversation. There will be lots of deliberations and a lot of analysis that will be made by Mr. Tarapati King and, of course, the in-house analysts and barristers that will give seasoned thoughts to all of the issues that will be brought on the front burner. Until then, do have a wonderful day. Compliments of the season.